Hello, 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 beautiful people, awesome souls. Welcome. We're going to start in just a few minutes. Welcome. Hello, Anthony. He is here. Wonderful. Wow. I'm so excited to get into this, to have this conversation with you today. Teresa, welcome. Big hearts, hearts, smiley hearts here. Wonderful. Barry, what's going on, Barry? We're going to get started in a few minutes, waiting for people to join, playing with this. If I put a thumbs up here, it looks like you get my thumb. This is a thumbs down. This is a heart. Oh, also telephone. Hey, what's going on, Henrik? So excited. We're going to get into how to accelerate to 2025, the 5 shifts CEOs need to make to achieve a year's worth of growth in just a few months. Mind-blowing stuff we are going to cover. I'm so excited to get into this. And hello, welcome, Dave. Yeah, we're going to be talking about AI and using AI for your business and exactly step by step how you need to use it to be effective. Really excited. Hello, Lisa. Welcome. We're going to get into it in a few minutes, waiting for some folks to join. We're going to be talking about how decisions are stories. Oh my gosh, decisions are stories, and how decision making, this is so profound, is really story making so that your buyers, your customers that love you, there's the big heart, are making a story in their minds about why they should buy. We're going to be talking about that. Hello, Nils. Decisions are stories because any decision comes down to what you believe. And if what you believe and what your customers believe are in alignment, then they are buying. If you're excited to get started, give me just a one in the chat. Let me just get some things going here. Type in the chat where you're coming in from, click on the chat, and what the weather is by you. It's kind of cloudy in New York. That's where I'm at. Certainly, there's a lot of faith involved with making a buying decision. And we're going to be talking about that today. So, hey there, Niels. What's going on? Dave, what's going on? Are you guys psyched? We're going to really, I mean, I appreciate you. You're really going to get some breakthroughs in this experience here. This is not a recording. This is live. My time and your time. We are here together and we are going to have some fundamental breakthroughs here. So, to that point, I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to be totally real. So, some of the things I say could be absolutely shocking. You may not want to hear it. You may not want to even be in this masterclass. What we're going to do here is we're going to experience things that are going to have you look at and experience your business in a different way. And you may want to take notes because you may get some brilliant ideas from this. You're going to want to capture them because I know that how you see your website may not exactly be how your prospects see your website or how they understand your business. Does that make sense? I know that there's a lot of stresses that CEOs like yourself have when your solution is confused with those that are nothing like it. If that ever happens to you, just give me a one in the chat. Does that happen to you ever? Um, Dave, you're also in New York. Lisa, one, hot and humid in Central Florida. Teresa, yes, that seems to happen to you. Also, does it happen to you where you're selling such an amazing solution, and yet it's hard to convey in 12 words or 3 words what your solution is? Then you're in the right place. I'm really excited to do this work with you today, that you have chosen to take this time to do this work on your story, your essential message for your business, which is like, how important is that? It's like critical. We're going to talk about the 5 CEO shifts to achieve a year's worth of growth in just a few months. Quick questions. What did you think of your GPT website assessment? Many of you here probably, hello, Randy, Yossi, have received a GPT assessment. I'm just curious, type in the chat, what did you think of that? Also, we're going to be talking about co-intelligent marketing. Big heart to that. AI, for me, as always, has a seat at the table. Going forward, we're going to be talking about that and how important it is for you to have AI at a seat at the table. We're going to be talking about how important it is for you to be clear about your message and your story. And it's likely going to be different than it is today. And that clarity is power for you, your business, your employees, your customers. Because I know that if you're spending money on ads and other kinds of marketing, you'll probably gonna notice that it's not very profitable. And that's because what you're showing to them, what you're communicating to them when they show up after you spend your money on marketing and advertising isn't landing. So I like to think that your story, your essential core message that you're speaking and that you're putting out there in the world, it's not marketing. It's not marketing at all. I believe it is your winning strategy. It is your thought leadership and it is the way. And how can it be described simply? We're going to talk about the shifts that you can do that in your messaging, like Steve Jobbian kind of method. I'm so excited to see you guys here. We've got Anthony, Teresa, Barry, Henrik, Dave, Lisa, Nils, Randy, Hasib, and Yossi. Let's get started. I hope this your homepage is not in love with your precious solution, but give me a 9 in the chat if you fear that maybe your homepage is actually in love with your solution, not your customers. Just give me a 9 in the chat so I can just feel you on that. Yeah. So I want to honor you, Niels and Dave and Teresa, to take this time to work on your business. This is my time. This is doing what I love to do for our customers and you. So this is your time as well, because I know that hype and brag marketing isn't working. It doesn't work and hasn't worked for a long time. So just give me a yes in the chat. Have you been a little disappointed by the marketing you're getting out of your marketer? I mean, they're marketing. Just give me a yes in the chat. Give me another yes in the chat if you've been disappointed. Let me a thumbs down here by the marketing content you get out of ChatGPT. Give me a yes in the chat if that is you. And that's because we're going to talk about this in the fifth shift about how prompt engineering is dead. And the new way is training. Training is the way. We're going to talk about how to do that because your best sales presentation cannot be your sales presentation. That does not scale for your team or for your business. It has to be your homepage. And I feel bad. I really do feel bad for a lot of you who spent oodles of money, a fortune on rebranding your website, but it has done nothing for sales. So give me, I don't know, a 6 in the chat if you've spent a lot of money on rebranding your website, but it has done nothing for sales. Give me a 6 there because this I know is a real big issue for a lot of people. Hopefully, I'm not getting a lot of 6s. But let me ask you this question. What do you think stands in the way between your innovation, what you're selling, and all your ideal prospects becoming customers? What is standing in the way? Type in the chat. Again, this is your time. This is my time. Type in the chat what is standing in the way between your innovation and yeah, I'm still crying about the cost. I feel you, Anthony. So people, interesting. People standing in the way. So a limited number of people, interesting. What is standing in the way? They don't know what they don't know. Couple of my employees, I'm sorry to hear that. So I believe that what stands in your way, if you're an innovative CEO and you've got a wonderful product that's really helping make the world a better place, that what's standing in the way is your message, your story. It's not landing or it's not cutting through the noise in your market. If that's you, you're in the right place. You are a smart CEO that is here, that is building a great product to make the world a better place. And these are the 5 shifts that you need to achieve. You need to make these shifts in order to achieve a year's worth of growth in just a few months. Lisa, we're a nonprofit member organization, requires multiple approvals. I hear you on that. So we're going to get to this 5th shift later. But I need you to stay for this webinar for a number of reasons. One, because the 5th shift that is using AI only will make sense and only work for you in GPT if you make the 4 previous shifts. So this is important because GPT is like an apprentice marketer that's been trained on billions of marketing words, a lot of them bad words, like from companies like Enron. Give me a 1 in the chat if you remember Enron or Theranos. If you know Theranos or Enron, GPTs have been trained on billions of words, including shitty marketing like that. And that's why we're getting people getting bad output from GPTs without training. We're going to talk about how to train an LLM very easily, very quickly to really explode and give you oodles of content every day for your business. I have had the privilege of working with what I consider to be unicorn CEOs that are crushing it in their industries. And these CEOs are bringing great products to their market and helping their customers and helping the world be a better place. So if that's you, by the way, if you are a CEO here of a company that is building great products, making this world a better place, just give me a one in the chat. Is that you? Is that you here? Are you guys in the right place here? Because if it's not you, if you're just here to hear me get angry because I'm an angry New Yorker, then you're going to be happy. But if you're here because you're a CEO, give me a one in the chat. So, ground rules. This is not for spectators. This is an experiential workshop. This is for participants who recognize that success loves speed and action. Okay. Ground rule number two, I will challenge you. I will force you, I will hit you upside the head with a virtual 2x4 in this discussion. You will not be able to look at your homepage or speak your sales message the same again. So continue this masterclass at your own risk. This is going to be challenging. Two, there will be no replay. There may be an encore, but no replay. There are going to be giveaways at the end for participants. First is a 16-part magnetic messaging framework, which is what my book is based on. And you'll see a template of all the sections you need to include to have the building blocks for buy-in. So your customers could believe the things that they need to believe in order for them to buy. The second thing is the 12 sales conversations that need to be hit in order for you to make a sale. And that happens especially a sale that's more than 100K or an enterprise kind of sale. And that could take a shape inside of a sales presentation. These are the bases. And the third giveaway is a GPT homepage messaging evaluator. It'll be a link that you could use it to get very specific suggestions and recommendations of what you need to do on your website that is from a trained GPT. That is what you're getting at the end of this. I will not pitch you. No pitching. Zero. At the end, I'll be offering 5 CEOs an opportunity to book a free marketing and sales enablement strategy session with me and my team if you qualify. That's it. So, question, does that sound fair to you? Is that fair? Give me a one or give me a heck yes in the chat if that sounds fair. All right, Dave, we got a thumbs up from Randy, Teresa, heck yes, Henrique. All right, Mike, welcome. If that's fair, we're going to get going here. So type in the chat, who is your ideal customer? Type that in, who, and be specific, because how well you understand your customer is your biggest competitive advantage. And you should know that. And if you're here, so Henrik, be more specific, like who, what kind of business? Manufacturing? Oh, no, not manufacturing. Be specific. If you're here, it's likely because one, you're selling an innovation, something really that's helping your your customers change and be better. And two, you're revolutionizing something. So if this is true for you, type one in the chat. If this is not true for you, if you're not selling an innovation and you're not bringing something revolutionary, like something better to the market, then you might as well just bow out of this masterclass. This is not for you. Randy, Henrique, give me a one if that's you. All right, Teresa, Henrique, Randy. All right. So I have some bad news right off the bat, and it's not just because I'm a New Yorker, but says who? All right, there's the first 2x4 upside the head, says who. And this is going to lead us into what we're going to talk about today. So, who am I? I am Greg Rosner. I am the CEO of Pitch Kitchen. I'm also a fractional CMO for a few organizations. And my agency, my team and I offer package services, 90-day sprints to fix bad marketing and dial in messaging, train GPTs, train teams on sales enablement, and all of that stuff. I have come from the sales space, meaning I hated marketing. I still do hate marketing because so much of it is bad. But I came at this because I sold millions of dollars worth of enterprise software, and I saw where marketing lets me down and lets us all down. That's where I've come from. I started this side hustle, actually, as Pitch Kitchen in 2017, helping organizations sell right. and really look at marketing as sales enablement. And we've designed thousands of websites and sales presentations and messaging frameworks that have earned more than $100 million for our customers. And we've actually done a lot of pitch decks. We learned a ton about how to turn investors into believers. So my book, I'm so excited about this. Could you imagine? We all should basically writing a book, but my book is called Storycraft for Disruptors. So I'm sure that you're an innovator, you're a change maker. This book is going to be for you. It'll be pre-sales this month. I'm super excited about it. Fix your marketing, shape beliefs, drive B2B sales, and conquer markets. Who here wants to conquer your market? Give me a one in the chat. This is really exciting, and I'm excited about this book. Um, right now we're going through legal because that kind of looks like Steve Jobs there, and we don't want to get sued by Apple. So we're going to change that up. That'll be me, so that I'll be holding that pose. But really, it's about storycraft, and we're going to be talking about this for. So again, this masterclass today is for CEOs like you that are bringing innovation, committed to their vision, that you've got an early stage or growth stage company, relatively stuck, but growing slowly. You want to grow faster. CEOs whose success depends on getting prospects to change what they're doing. And CEOs are able to invest time and money in the business. Because guess what? It does take those things. If this is not for you, you're wasting your time. You don't need to be here. So, my promise to you in the next 45 minutes is how to nail your sales message, even if what you're selling is complicated, sophisticated, and needs to be demonstrated. How to turn your homepage into a home run, absolutely for the perfect buyer. How it's game over for most marketing playbooks and what you need to do instead. It's actually game over for most marketers who aren't doing it this way that we're talking about. How to attract ideal customers into a buying conversation and lead your category and be number one in your category. And how to use AI to create a torrent of 100% on brand content without hallucinations or fancy prompting. This is actually a massive promise. I'm doing it. We're doing it. I'm down for this. If you guys are psyched, just give me something in the chat. Say, I'm psyched in the chat or something as I take a drink. All right, Teresa, Henrik, I need you guys to participate because it's going to be, this is a conversation we're having. All right. So your solution is amazing. Your customers love you, but you and your salespeople are working so hard to explain what it does, why it does it that way, and why they should care. It should be a no-brainer. It really should, but it is a brainer. You have a marketing person doing a shit ton of marketing, but it's not turning into sales. You've asked GPT to write a blog, a post, a marketing, whatever, but it was rubbish. And you had to spend more time cleaning up the garbage coming out of GPT than anyone would like. And that's not what we're for. We're not supposed to be cleaning up garbage from GPT. Anyway, a lot of your demos ending up with no sales. If this is you, we're gonna tackle these things here. You're gonna see what the real problem is. This is what I know. Win rates are down. 91% of sales teams are missing quota. That's structurally a lot of problems there. Sales cycles are increasing. Average deal sizes are decreasing. If you're seeing this, these are some real problems. So if you've read a lot of these books, like Building a Story Brand from Donald Miller, or This is Marketing by Seth Godin, or Gap Selling by Keenan, these are great freaking books, unbelievable. But there's a difference between knowing, and you probably know what you need to do, but you haven't done it. And so if this is you, then you're in the right place. You've got sales reps on your team. Perhaps they're singing different songs. One's singing the We're the Only song, and one is singing We're the Best song, but none of it is really telling the right story. You're spending money, and Anthony, you mentioned this, on website rebranding or social media or PPC, and you're spending all this money on marketing, but what you seem to be missing is a single compelling story that attracts your ideal customers and grows your business and even it excites your team. Then that's a problem. We're going to be talking about how to fix that. If you have a sales presentation that looks as bad as this, and hopefully it's not as bad as this, where it's almost like white backgrounds, tons of content, compensating for the fact that your homepage doesn't do it. And your homepage has words on it like this: creating innovative workflow technologies that drive, oh my God, what the freak is this saying? Like, terrible, absolutely terrible. Using words like powerful, unified solution, market smarter, AI driven, AI powered, AI enabled. All of that, by the way, is meaningless because by 2028, every business is going to have AI inside of it. So it's almost like saying, we use electricity. We're electric enabled. I mean, give me a one in the chat if that's making sense to you. That is not a differentiator anymore. And also, most of the language that we see on websites is uh, self-described. It is trust me, believe me, we're great, we're the market leader, or we're the world class. And by the way, if you have to say we're world class, guaranteed you're not world class. If you have to say you're a game changer, we're offering a game changer, I can guarantee you it's not a game changer. So if you train your GPT on invisible marketing, all that shit is invisible marketing, you will lose sales. Your slides are a Frankendeck, and sometimes homepages and websites are Franken websites. And I've seen them, you've seen them. They aren't helping convert. Creating more content, you're probably spending a lot of time. Let's just create more case studies. Let's create an ROI calculator. Let's do a how it works video. But all of that shit is not helping convert. Then you are in the right place. If you're thinking, okay, let me just stop right there because I'm just going on a rant. Take a drink. So I got good news. Good news. The great news is that those are symptoms. Those are symptoms that will be resolved once you fix the real problem. The real problem is that you have not made these 5 shifts. But once you do, once you make these 5 shifts, you're going to see you're going to have complete confidence in the marketing you're spending. You're going to lead your category, accelerate qualifications, lead your team. Leadership team will be all aligned. You'll be able to create tons of content every month, everywhere, without hiring anyone new. And you'll attract ideal prospects who are going to show up to that first conversation predisposed to buy. So let's get into it. If you guys are psyched, we're going to go through this quickly. I'm from New York and I just operate very quickly. Let's go through this. If you guys are psyched, just give me let's go in the chat. Let's go. Let's get this done. All right. So we've got Anthony, Teresa, Barry, Henrik, Dave, Lisa, Niels, Seb, and Mike. Okay. And is it the handout? I don't mean to put the handout. I want to put the offer, and let's leave a handout to the end. So the offer is there in case you wanted to book. All right, let's do this. Uh, the first thing you need to do is lead a movement. So what do I mean by lead a movement? If you're going to lead a movement, uh, before you start leading a movement, you have to answer a couple questions like, are you selling innovation? Many of you said yes. So what does your innovation challenge? So think about it. What does your innovation require people to do? Type in the chat if you, Tony Soprano, let's go. What's the enemy that you and your customer both have in common? Type in the chat if you know who the enemy is, what the enemy is. So getting clear on this movement that you need to lead, this is a shift that you need to make as a leader of a business, of a CEO, selling an innovation. Change the way they collect, analyze, and report data. So that's what you want to change, but why? You haven't answered why you want to do that. So what's the enemy? Who's the enemy? All right. So look at salesforce.com. Let me just explain to you. Sales software was the enemy in 2012. Salesforce.com did a gloves off attack on no more software. This was just when like moving to the cloud. Actually, this was 2005. Movement to the cloud. They attacked software. It made so much sense because they wanted to bring people to the cloud. CRMs were all trapped on servers and on computers. So they led a movement away from software and to the cloud. HubSpot, they led a movement towards inbound marketing. They're still leading that movement, that is the way. And DocuSign is leading their movement. So what movement are you leading? What are you doing? So the old way is to make claims of why you're the best and say that you're the best. And the new way, though, is to encourage change and explain why the old way is dead. And you are more of a rebel leader leading people to the promised land, which is a place where they have, Lisa, a better way to collect, analyze, and report data. Is this beginning to make sense? Is this making sense? I would say shitty outsourcing and bad sales surround. That's our biggest enemy. All right. So, um, what are you rebelling against? What is your rebellion about? Type in the chat. What change does your innovation that you're selling require them to believe? People need to believe something, that the way that you're approaching this is the right way to go. So, what are you rebelling against? What's your polarizing statement? So, this is a good way to even have sales conversations, to make statements that are polarizing, that draw a distinction between what works and what doesn't work. Solution provider lies, vendor agnostic, no lender lock in. I'm not sure I understand the context there. Um, so because we develop platform agnostic standards embedded in software, that's solution, product, doesn't work. Many organizations collect data across platforms that don't communicate, but who cares? Lisa, why does that matter? You got to go deeper. You got to go to why anybody gives a crap, why anyone cares about that. Let's get clear. Again, I'm going to challenge you. That's the purpose. That's why you're here. In order to stand out, you got to know what you're standing for. Simon Sinek, love the man. You need to be clear what you need people to stop doing. So stop using many platforms to communicate. Start using what? Okay. This leads you to what that movement is about. The old way is not working, the new way is. Goodbye to spreadsheets, hello to connected information. This is really good distinction between what the new way is, and connected information is the new way that cognition is talking about. And their customers, their prospects who believe that they need to get out of spreadsheet land and get into the land of connected information, those are their ideal customers, and this is the movement that they're leading. Is making sense to you? Give me a yes or one in the chat. You basically have to stop the hype marketing, stop telling the world how great you think your solution is, that it isn't innovation. Stop feature product pushing and start leading a movement instead. The people who aren't enrolled in this journey to get there are going to ignore you. And guess what? That's great news. They are not your customers. So if this is making sense to you, type in the chat, makes sense. Because I believe sales is an act of leadership. If you believe that sales is an act of leadership, then say yes in the chat. Yes, sales is an act of leadership, and marketing is also an act of leadership. It is helping your customers get to that place where they need to go. So you need to lead a freaking uprising, attack the old way, go against the status quo. If you want to be the market leader, this is the first shift you need to make. If you were to do a TED talk, what would it be about? A world where that helps you get clear. Like Airbnb, a world where you could live anywhere. Like that's Airbnb's a hashtag, live anywhere. Like nobody actually does that, but it's an aspirational rebellion against just being stuck at home or going to hotels. So just to this point about hashtags, take a look at the hashtags that you already seen out there that are winning. Like I'm not political here, but I know that great marketing when I see it. Um, I also know like trust your source is from the Wall Street Journal. Just do it from Nike. Live it anywhere. Airbnb. Eat with purpose is Chopped. So what do all of these have in common? Like Can you look at these and just say, oh, I see what's going on here? What's going on here? So these hashtags speak to the movement, the leadership piece that you need to establish for your business. Type in the chat here, what's your hashtag, or what hashtag you think you should use, and type in the chat here, what do all these have in common? What do they all have in common? Come on, come on, guys, do it. Action, yes, because guess what? That's what sales and marketing is about, isn't it? Yeah. Build your digital future. I like that because it starts with a verb. I need some context though. It appeals to a higher motive. It appeals to people wanting to change, wanting to get to some vision of a place that they already believe. Typically, they all start with verbs and is all about action. Like Zoom Info, great one. Like, what do they sell? Data. It doesn't say buy your data here. They say hit your number. And that starts with a verb, calls people to do the thing that they need to do. And guess what? Zoom Info sells some stuff that helps organizations hit their number. It's very good, very clear. So context is everything here. So marketing is about action. Marketing is about change, not hype. This is the fundamental thing I want you to take away from this. So that means in the first movement, you need to, the first shift is you need to stop hyping and start leading a movement. If this is making sense, give me a make sense in the chat. I'll talk quick about Jeff, CEO of a total innovative company selling high tech software to hospitals around the country. Very confusing marketing content. Pipeline is extremely thin, letting key partners down, losing decisions to no decision. Sorry, losing deals to no decision. This is actually their before website, and there's nothing wrong with the design, but there's everything wrong with the text. After the shifts was made, tripled revenue, confidence in the marketing that he's spending, and so grateful that the business materializing. The business is materializing. Lisa, using the industry model enables org to reduce costs and improve outcomes. Not sure I fully understand that. I only partially understand that. Anyway, we can talk. What does the new suit look like? I'll show that to you. This is the after. Reduce your fleet costs. Turn your underutilized equipment into an optimized health system. That's this transformation story, the old way to the new way, right there. And instead of learn more or start here, it is get your equipment performance snapshot. So it's very specific. And this is very specific to their ideal customers. And their movement that they're leading is reducing fleet costs. That's the number one thing. Hospitals are overspending on their MRI machines that are 12 years old. Anyway, this is a great website, just part of a website that you hover over those things on the left, and it contrasts the old way with the new way. It's very, very sexy and really helps people understand that if they continue going the old way, that it's going to be life or death for their business, and how they're tolerating the old way if they're not making a change. So if this makes sense that the first shift you got to do is to lead a movement, give me a make sense in the chat. Got a Lisa, makes sense. Niels, give me a make sense. We got Teresa, Barry, Henrik, Dave, Hasib, and Mike. Give me a make sense. All right, two. Let's jump on this second one. By the way, book also with us. And Trisha Glick, we're going to hear from her later. They've tripled sales because of the messaging that they're using, and so grateful that the change has been made. These are just some, I guess, some testimonials that are here, blah, blah, blah. But we're going to go into some of this later. I don't want to spend too much time. But these guys have made these 5 shifts and went from only a few customers to thousands. This was a new product competing with Amazon, actually, from a delivery perspective. And after they made this shift, they've grown exponentially. So let's get on to it. Number 2, the second shift that you need to make is to start with the problem. So why not start with your solution? Anyone want to type in the chat? Why is it a bad idea to start on your homepage right there at the top with your solution? Why is it a bad idea? So this picture is worth 1,000 words here. What do you see in this picture here? What's going on here? Why not start with your solution? If your market looks anything like this, why not start with your solution? Yeah. This is the AI-enabled market landscape, by the way. It's even more crowded, and actually every business by 2028 will have AI in it. So where is your solution in this? It doesn't make sense because all of it is noise. All of it is noise. And if you think about the vitamin versus the pill. People are twice more likely to buy something to relieve pain than to gain something. So if you're leading with how great your product is with features and how awesome it is and how much money will be saved and how much opportunities will be gained, it's not going to work because people are much more likely to buy something if you relieve pain. So when you start with the problem, you're talking about the problems, which is front and center. And solution marketing doesn't work anymore because it doesn't answer these questions of why should I change? Why should I change now? And why should I change with you? So the old way of pitching or selling or marketing is you start with your solution and you say things like, we help companies generate more sales. And that seems reasonable, but that doesn't work in today's market when we're overloaded by pitches that say stuff like that. The new way is we help companies struggling with fill in the blank. We help CEOs frustrated with fill in the blank. That is starting with the problem. If this is making sense, type in the chat makes sense, or type in the chat, we help companies frustrated or struggling with, fill that in the chat. So let me see if you're getting this in your world. How would that pitch sound like? And as you're doing that, I want you to consider this arc. You've read Crossing the Chasm by Jeffrey Moore. In my book, it speaks about the risk of doing nothing versus the risk of changing. And if you look at the customers and prospects you're selling to, you got to ignore a large part of the market, maybe most of the market. You need to educate some people, influence others, and encourage those who already believe and already recognize that the risks of doing nothing outweigh the risks of changing. This is hugely powerful concept to take on in your consideration of starting with the problem. The risks of doing nothing is core to the problem. Henrik, we help companies struggling with digital asset management. Okay, a little more clear would be great, but that's pretty good. Uh, this is a really bad website. This was changed, but before it said accounting for the pace of change. It means nothing, absolutely nothing. Get the right financial advice, get the right technology advice, get the right financial business advice. This is much better. And this is where they went because this is what their customers want because they know they're not getting the right advice. So type in the comments below, what is the number one problem that you solve? So Henrik and Niels and Dave and Hasib and Teresa and Lisa, type in the chat, what's the number one problem you solve? And this will maybe a shocker to some of you, but we're going to dive into it now. What is the number one problem that you solve? Type that in the chat. And as you're doing that, do facts change people's minds? They don't. Facts do not. And we know that. Um, it's because it comes down to what people believe, and people believe in only the things they care about. So facts don't change people's minds. So let's just see. We protect your cell phone from being hacked. Okay, so we provide access to Latin American developers, which are about 40% cheaper than you. I don't get that. A secure cell phone service for executives. So Hasib, problem. Let me just jump on that. Problem. That's not a problem. Secure cell phone service for executive is not a problem. We provide access to Latin American developers, which are about 40% cheaper. That's not a problem. That is a statement. It's not a problem. Uh, Hasib, we protect your cell phone from being hacked. That's what you do. So if you were to phrase it as a problem that people are experiencing. The risk, you risk your cell phone being hacked. Or, like who's getting their cell phone hacked? I don't know. My cell phone hasn't been hacked, so that's weird. We help companies struggling with digital asset management. It's not clear enough to me, like how, like a little bit more clear. Dave, we help companies thrive in increasingly risk-rich environments. So, Dave, I'm going to just say that's not a problem. You help companies achieve something that's a future, that's a goal. Uh, that's not a problem. That's what problem What problem exists, like present, current? What do they see? What do they experience right now that if that they experience, that they're seeing, that you resolve? Like that is no longer a problem once you sell them your solution. So this is shocking. It should be shocking to many of you that we're having a discussion. You guys are leading businesses, but you're not passing the test here on describing the problem. You're gravitating towards the solution. You're moving towards describing a solution and why people should care about it, but you're not describing the problem. So yeah, that's the deal. Because nobody cares about your why. People believe in the things they care. They themselves decide, not what you tell them. You can't tell people what they should think. But if you can describe their problem better than they can, they'll automatically believe you have the best solution. So if you are saying, I think it was Dave, we help companies thrive in increasingly risk-rich environment. So describe the risk environment, like what's going on that's causing such a problem. What's going on? Like you've got to be such an expert, and you should be, you probably are, but for some reason it's getting drowned by all this hype marketing about your solution. But you need to dig that out, which is your clarity on the problem, like a doctor knows the problem better than it's their patients. This is what you got to do. Start with the problem. Speaking about doctors, this is a great website from ReadyWorks. Patients before paper. Beautiful. Like, yes, that's a problem. Patients should come before paper, but the reality is they don't. Many hospitals have doctors and nurses running around filling out forms and not quickly gathering information with their phones or digital. So turn your paper checklists into smart forms. That's what they're selling. So this is making sense that you need to start with the problem and how you need to do that. Just type in "make sense" in the chat. This is a fundamental shift that makes you empathize empathize beautifully with the problems that your customers have, and that establishes your authority, your credibility, much more than a slide full of logos. I can promise you that. All right, Lisa, Henrik, Niels, Teresa, Dave, wonderful. So why is this hard? It's hard because you guys are steeped in your solution. I get it. You sweat over it. You built your. That's why you're here. You love your solution, but you kind of have to stop the music and uh, and take another look at this. Marketers you hire, they're just going to market the shit out of it, and they're not going to take the opposing view. And the opposing view are the risk averse customers, the customers who are feeling that the risk of changing and stopping what they're doing and doing what you're suggesting is greater than the risks of staying the same. That's why most marketers fail. There's blind spots. They're going to be using outdated playbooks. Alternatives for what your customers are buying are still better than yours, and wasted spend on bad websites. This is really hard. I know there's a lot of private VC-backed companies that have gone out of business last year. I call this the innovation graveyard. It's not enough to have a great product. The product doesn't win in the end. The best product doesn't win. It's just not like that. And the best salesperson won't save you. They are going to quit after a few months because they're not making enough sales, and it's not their fault. They're not getting aligned with the right customers. They're having to do too much verbal selling instead of your website doing that. Your fancy GPT prompts won't save you either because GPTs have not been trained. What they have been trained on out of the box in GPT 4.0 and Claude is marketing from 2015, which doesn't work anymore. All right. Number three, um, make your customer the hero. Now, I know you've heard this before. I know you've heard this before, but most people have no clue on how to do this. So if you look at your website right now, what do you think your marketing is in love with right now? Like mirror, mirror on the wall. What is your homepage obsessed with? Uh, mirror, mirror on the wall. So type in the chat here. I mean, be honest. What is your homepage obsessed with? Hey, Rhett, what's going on? Good to see you here. Our product, Dave, Niels, us. Yes, it is. And thank you for being honest. Most CEOs said, yeah, let's make our customer the hero. Yeah, yeah, we got to do that. Marketers like, yeah, yeah, sure. Absolutely. Customers are the hero. Nobody has a freaking clue on how to do this. They don't. Nobody has an idea. And it's pretty simple, but it's hard to do. And it's pretty clear when you go to a website right away, we can all tell what it's in love with. And if your customer is the hero of the story, and this is the shift that you need to make, what does that make you? Forget your customer for a minute. Who are you? When I say you, I mean your company, your employees, the people that work in your company, the product that you're selling. What does that make your entity? What is it? Type in the chat. What does it make you? If they're the hero, who are you in the story? What's the voice of? What's the character of the story? Come on, guys, you can do this. Who are you in the story where they're the hero? Think about Star Wars, or think about Jason Bourne, or think about Mary Poppins, or think about I don't know, The Lion King, or oh, there's a great movie I saw on Netflix, Gran Turismo. You all see Gran Turismo on Netflix? What a wonderful movie. So in Gran Turismo, who is the hero? Is that kid, Jan Marlborough, that racer that learned how to race cars from being a gamer. But who was the guide in that story, right? Who is that second? The Sherpa, the guide, the Yoda, yes, the facilitator, the trusted advisor. So if that's who you are, that's the voice that you need to train your GPT to talk from. And that's the voice that needs to be in your messaging doc, and we're going to talk about that. So bringing clarity to risk, that's who Acuity is, and nobody cares. If you make yourself the hero of the story, it's confusing because everyone who wants to buy your product comes from a position where they already believe they need to change or they need to fix something, which is the classic hero's journey. So the old way is we are the hero and why we're the best. The new way is we're going to guide you and we're going to show you how to make you better. And that's the voice of every bit of email, marketing, content, website, everything. That's the DNA there. And that's what you need to be doing. And if you're going to make your customer the hero, it means you need to get clear on what your voice is. You should also get clear on who your who the enemy is, who the villain is, who the victim of the story is, who the champions and the adversaries are. Getting really clear on the characters of the story helps in writing content for the business. IPMD, this is a really great website. This is the before, by the way, AI human interaction, creating a better world for tomorrow. Like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm at Disney in 1965. What are these guys selling? I have no idea. Who are they selling it to? I've got no idea. Is this a service? Is this a product? This is a little bit better. Give doctors superpowers. Speaking about heroes, bring emotional artificial intelligence to patient encounters. This is a telemedicine platform that helps doctors get cues and clues on the emotional foundation, the emotional ground of patients. So turn virtual patient checkups into deeply insightful interactions. That's that transformation story. So if you think about what you are selling, what you're really selling, um, you're selling something to somebody who has a problem and they want to get to a better place. And your solution is not the thing they're really buying, is it? Type in the chat, what are they really buying when they're buying your solution? Type in the chat if you know. What are they really buying? Your ideal customers. They're not buying your product. They're not buying your company. What are they buying? So you're probably like, oh my gosh, what's the answer? Yes, Henrik, you got it. The outcomes. So your solution is the means to the end. So your voice and your story needs to help them change. So remember this arc that we saw? You got to really help people change and help people understand that if they do nothing, that bad things are going to continue to happen and it's only going to get worse. And the winning organizations, the winning people and organizations that are doing it the right way, which is your way, the way that your product offers them to arrive there, is the best way. So this is really powerful stuff, and it's really making your customer the hero. So if this is making sense, type in the chat makes sense to you. And also, if you want to book that free messaging and sales enablement assessment with me and my team, click the offer and do that. All right. Trisha, I mentioned her before. So, Trisha, unbelievable company, massive goals. The new product in a very status quo kind of industry, which is behavioral health, and she couldn't differentiate, failing to book new conversations, missing sales targets, and frustrated with performance. After she made these shifts, double sales in 3 months, confident with marketing spend, poised for acquisition, and I can't say anything more about that, but good things are happening. And this is a LinkedIn post. She actually posted this. This was their mission to help communicate to their customers, their prospects, what they need to stop doing and what they need to start doing. And it was that leadership of start cost-effective delivery. And within, I think, minutes of posting, she was booking meetings from that. And while I can't guarantee this is going to happen to you guys, this is the power of a really clear story. And I hope you guys appreciate that. So if making your customer the hero makes sense to you, then type in the chat makes sense. Great. All right. So, quick take suggestions on your homepage. So, if you want me at the end of this masterclass to take a quick look at your homepage and offer some not too brutal, but not too scary critiques, I will do that for you. I'm happy to do that. So, just type in the chat what that is, and we'll get to that at the end. All right. So, the fourth shift you got to make if you want to um, solve those problems and get a year's worth of growth in just a few months, you need to name your category. And so, what do I mean by that? Name your category. Um, so, look at the category of the phone in the 1990s, 2000s, 2010s. Uh, right. And it's coming soon. Who knows what it'll be, but it'll probably have the word phone in it. So look what these organizations, smartphone, I don't know who invented smartphone, but it's typically a prefix or a word in front of an existing category. So look what Apple's doing just to tear a page out of the Apple marketing playbook. They created a category called spatial computing, and that everybody's following up on, like, oh gosh, we want to be in this category too. And while this headset is for early adopters, you can see where this is going. By 2030, people are going to be running around with glasses that are see-through and you can't even tell they're headsets, but they're augmented or spatial computing headsets or glasses. Comfort ownership is another great new category where their status quo world is equipment ownership. So that's what they're contrasting. Conversation intelligence is a category. So I like to think, I love this quote by Warren Buffett. How do you beat Bobby Fischer? Great chess player. You beat him in any game but chess. So you need to get clear on what your category is, your new category, your unique category. And I'm going to give you several examples here. Clipper's category is video intelligence versus the old category is just video libraries. Um, Information driven versus document driven. Intelligent recovery versus just data backup and recovery. CCO versus PPO for healthcare. And that's really great. Um, so you can look at some of these companies that have crushed it in their categories, in their businesses, because they have named their category. And if you look at all of these, it's not just logistics, it's predictive logistics. It's not just relationship marketing, it's talent relationship marketing. See what they did? These smart freakers have added a word in front of their category to make what they're selling unique. Oh my gosh, how brilliant is that? This is some secret sauce here. This is what you guys can do if you wanted to. All right. So, what is your unique category? Type in the comments. What is your unique category? Type in the comments if you know. Give it a whirl. If you don't know, give it a whirl. Try it out. So I see cybersecurity is your existing category. So maybe it's so nearshoring, somebody came up with that category, but you can come up with a certain kind of nearshoring or a certain kind of cybersecurity. Catch my drift? Are you catching what I'm putting down? Data standards and integration. I'm not sure if that's a category. Boutique cell phone security. Interesting. So boutique, maybe. I don't know. But I like how you added a word there, cell phone security. Interesting. All right. So so if naming your category makes sense to you, type in makes sense, and that will unlock the last shift that you guys have to make in order to accelerate sales, basically to what you can do in a year and 3 months. Henrik, Lisa, give me some make sense because I know you guys are here and I hope you're getting a lot of value from this. Hey, Rhett is here. What's going on, Rhett? Type in the chat. Haven't seen you in ages. Glad you're here. Rhett is a former customer. All right. So number five, use the secret weapon. And this is a secret weapon today, but maybe in a year or in 2 years, it will no longer be a secret weapon because everybody will be doing it. But guess what? Here it is. But before we get to the secret weapon, let's just give some love to this concept here. Do you have a core messaging framework document? Give me a yes or no in the chat. Do you have a core messaging framework document that is like your Bible that your team is evangelizing from? Hasib, no. Niels, no. Lisa, no. So this is a new concept, but if you think about it, all of us humans are designed in the future to, I guess, train GPTs. A lot of people don't have it, don't even know that they need it, don't know if they should care to have one. But if you pivot and say, well, have you been disappointed by content you're getting out of GPT? It's because the prompts don't work. They're hit or miss. You're getting good results sometimes, not good results other times. And they're also trained on marketing language like this. Have you ever seen marketing language you're getting out of GPT that uses any of these words like delve, embark, unlock your, robust? Like, give me a yes in the chat if you've seen some of these. Like, oh my gosh, or just give me an OMG. Unleash, skyrocket. So this is the words that we all used as humans from 1999 to 2015. And when I say as humans, most marketing humans were using these shitty words. You don't want to use these shitty words in your marketing. This is a telltale sign that your marketing has been done by ChatGPT. So consider GPT as like a smart as hell apprentice, but it's been trained on a billions and billions of marketing words that are bad, like Enron. So the secret weapon is this. Are you seated? I'm going to take a drink for this. All right. Get AI to become your solution expert in your brand voice. But how do you do that? Get a fractional CMO who will unlock a year of strategic marketing growth in 90 days at a fraction of the cost that will do three things. One, refine your story through expert facilitated interviews of you and your leadership team to pull out of you the golden insights you have about the problem and about your customers. And then apply that to the most effective storytelling frameworks that are crushing it right now. Then, with that, transform your homepage, your sales deck, your marketing messaging to be problem centric and compelling. And then that's going to boost your sales immediately. And then the third piece is use that finished framework to pre train a custom GPT. And we'll do this for you, or you can do this yourself, that will generate oodles of 100% on brand marketing every day, from blog posts to white papers to FAQs. It's going to know everything about your business much better than well most of your employees, and it can be used to write anything you want every day of the week and 100 times on Sunday. This is what we call a co-intelligent marketer. And uh, the 3 month, 90-day sprint we talked about, the first month typically is when we do that, like intakes, those discussions to really pull out of you those golden insights that you have that needs to get front and center and replace the hype marketing that you have. In month two, that's when the GPT gets programmed very quickly and easily, and then you're basically off to the races. Yes, you can do other things with us like webinar series and lead magnets and email outreach and posts and all this great stuff, but all of it is going to be powered by GPT. But once you get through that first step, which is answering these freaking hard questions like, who are the characters of the story? Who is the guide? What's the innovation you're selling? Who is the hero? Who are they? What do they want? What are their current problems as it relates to this? What do they already believe about this issue? These are the questions that you're not going to get from GPT. You're only going to get from the brilliant insights that you and your leadership team have. Is this making sense? Just give me a chat. Yes, it will work with Claude. And I don't spend any time experimenting with 1,001 AIs because every day it's changing. I can promise you that. But as this is making sense, that these are the hard questions that you, as a leader, as a chief storyteller, CEO of your business, need to get defined so that you can nail your messaging and help your sales team convert a lot more customers. The fruit of that first month work is actually to create a 20-page document. Boring, but guess what? This is the Bible. How long did the Bible last? Like 2,000 years, and I guess it's still going strong. I'm not a big Bible reader myself. Maybe I should be, but I'm just saying you need a Bible for your business. And this Bible is what you train GPT on. I'm just like thumbs up if this is making sense to you, that you need to give GPT a Bible for your business. Thumbs up. Give me like a thumbs up in the chat. I don't know if you can, just like type thumbs up. You need a Bible for your business. I'm going to hashtag that one. It just came out of my mouth. A Bible for your business. But that's what this is. This is a Bible for your business, that you need to map out that journey that your customers take from the risk of changing is too great to the risk of not changing is too great. That is the journey. And when you create that co-intelligent marketer, like boom, you're creating a torrent, a gobsmacking, like whatever, your team, everybody in your team would use the same link to write an email, write a proposal, write a this, post a that. No one in your team is going to be staring at a blank cursor like, what should I do? What should I write today? No more. Everyone's going to be so much more productive because they will be tapping this co-intelligent marketer that's free, that's on your team, that has been trained up on your magic story, on your best story. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited just talking about this, because if you're not doing this now, you need to be, because by 2027, 2028, every company is going to be doing this, and you guys need a leg up. This is a small group. You guys got to do this. All right. This is just a funny meme. But once you get these GPTs chained, you can chain them for different purposes. But once you do that, it's going to be massively successful. But I would say that to do this on your own, to this document, is hard to do, because, like you came to this webinar, you guys are typically trapped inside the solution speak of your business, saying things like, we provide a unique, complex solution leveraging revolutionary whatever. I get it, but you kind of need a buzz. You kind of need a Woody to like help you guys like pull out of you how your customers see you. What does the outside of the box need to say? So real quick, Masood, brilliant CEO, frustrated with sales, were declining. He was doing 30 demos to one sale, not him, but his team had a team of like 10 salespeople. They were doing 30 demos to one sale. If that doesn't hurt, oh my gosh, I don't know what does. Large sales team turnover, because salespeople were just leaving in droves because their messaging wasn't working. Anxious about limited financial runway. This was their website before. and they're selling a complicated product for Kubernetes resiliency. Like, oh my gosh, this is the after. Get intelligent recovery. Forget about Kubernetes, whatever that is. They're about helping businesses recover their data because it's not a matter of if it fails, but when, and recover it intelligently using artificial intelligence. So this totally works. And afterwards, they tripled their ad bats, they doubled their win rate in 2 months. New salespeople were closing deals. So I'm not promising you that you're going to have exactly the same results. You're not. Maybe you'll have worse, maybe you'll have better results, but this is an example of what can happen. So I guess my recommendation to you is stop making excuses for your homepage, turn your website into a conversion site. I'm going to be giving out now this magnetic messaging framework that's also in the book. It's section by section. What are the elements? What are the building blocks for buy-in? From what is that name of the movement that you're leading? What are the results that they're looking for? What do they believe? Who is this for? Okay, so we're going to be handing that out now. Let me just pull that out on the screen. Share handout. You should see that now in the upper right-hand corner. So you can download that. Niels, what about Google scans the internet for GPT usage? I don't know what you mean. Give me details on what you mean by that. Niels, will that hurt us? I'm not sure what that means. What about Google scans the internet for GPT? No, it won't hurt you because it'll scan the output of what you're producing with GPT. Google's not scanning your GPTs themselves. And you can also change the restrictive rights of who gets to see it and when you create it. Anyway, really pay attention to the framework because you'll see that it has been born out of designing thousands of successful websites that have this framework. And this framework is still it's evolving, it's changing as AI is changing the game as well. But this is the state of the art right now. All right. Uh, oh, I see what you mean. Google ignores websites that are created with GPTs. So no, Google can't ignore a website, is not ignoring a website because it can't tell the content is from especially a trained GPT. It won't be able to tell because trained GPTs is producing original content. So that's not true. And if you don't believe me, you can look up the work from Ethan Mullick on LinkedIn, who's a Wharton professor who I am in contact with and have learned from his book called Co-Intelligence, by the way. So the old way have a lot of these buttons like get started, learn more. Don't use those buttons. The new way, for example, in the framework, you'll see you want to use very specific call to values instead of call to actions that are specific and very simple. The plan is another really important thing that most websites miss, which is, okay, this sounds great, but what's the plan to get me from where I am today to where I want to go? And it's not about your product, it's about their destination, the outcomes. Also, a lot of bad websites today just have contact forms, and many of you probably have contact forms. Remove those contact forms if really what you need is a discussion, because I would say 70 to 80% of deals go to die in contact forms. And if you've experienced this as well, where people fill out a contact form, but you can never book the meeting, you know what I'm talking about. The better way to do it is to put a booking form like this. They collect 2 o'clock on Tuesday, and then you hit them up with their first name, with their last name, what their favorite color is, what their sign is, whatever questions that you want to ask that will help you come to that first meeting totally prepared. So there's a lot of stuff I want to share with you today, but we don't have much time. I will be sharing with you the 12 conversations, and in 12 conversations, you'll see it's divided by three. Conversations where you're having on what their current challenges are, to the second grouping of conversations, which is what the process, what the solution is about, and the third set of conversations are about the path to get there. So this is a beautiful frame for any meeting you're ever going to have. And if you think about the best meetings that you've ever had, they've always followed this natural framework of problem, solution, and plan. So inside of each of those three are 3 to 4 other deeper dive sections. So just to recap, the secret weapon is a fractional CMO will unlock a year of strategic marketing and growth in 90 days at a fraction of the cost. Refine your story through expert facilitated interviews, and transform your marketing, and use the finished framework to pre-train your GPT to generate all that content. So That was a lot. That's what I promised. How to nail your sales message by making these 5 shifts, how to turn your homepage into a home run, why it's game over for most marketing playbooks, and you've seen why it is, how to attract ideal customers into buying conversations and lead your category, even if no one's ever heard of your solution before, and how to use AI to create a torrent of 100% on brand content. So just to recap, this is what you got to do. You got to lead a movement. You got to start with the problem, not your solution. Make your customer the hero, which positions you as the trusted guide. Name your category, and that's often a prefix in front of your existing category, and use the secret weapon. All right. So wow. Oh my gosh. So we're going to get to your website. Put in your website links here. And if you want, we'll do a quick critique and give you some suggestions. And we've got Rhett, Mike, Hasib, Neil, Dave, Henrique, Barry, and Teresa. I would say now you have a choice. You can go it alone or you get expert help. And if you haven't booked time, I encourage you to do that because I care about you. If you're here, it means that you have a product or a service that is making your customers' lives better and ultimately making this world a better place. And that's the world that I want to live in. I have a young family. I have 9-month-old daughter and a 3-year-old son, and I want to live in a beautiful, great world for them. And if you're building products and services that are making the world a better place, then I want to help you because this is what we do: is we help you bring that product to market. So here's what I have for you. You can snapshot this QR code, or you can click on the offer tab and book a time. So I've set aside these 45-minute Zoom calls to really discuss what's working, what's not working, and how to fix it. Give you some specific recommendations and a plan to get it done, and we'll go there. So this is absolutely free, but it's if you qualify, and the qualification is inside the booking tab. When you book a time, there's a few qualification questions in there. All right. So giveaway time. Yay, giveaway time. So I sent out, well, you got the 16-part magnetic messaging framework. I'm going to now give you guys the 12 sales conversations that open minds and close deals. And I'm going to give you a link to that right now in the chat. All right. So there's the link in the chat. See it, Teresa. So the uh, the 12 sales conversations that open mind and close deals, consider this like a framework for your best sales presentation. It should cover those bases. Your slide should cover those bases. That's what those bases are. And that is the fruit of literally doing probably 5,000 sales presentations for organizations and really understanding what those conversations need to be. The last piece here is that GPT homepage messaging evaluator. And I'm going to give you another link right now for that. And it's free. You can use it even if you don't have any GPT license, but it's free. And you can click that link and just type in your URL, and the GPT will give you a magnetic messaging contrast. We'll say how it works and give you a score like 69% or 99% based on how well your website is adhering to the magnetic messaging framework, which you see there. So those are the giveaways that I promised. These are hugely valuable. These 3 are actually in the book that's coming out in August, Storycraft. By the way, what do you think of the Storycraft title, by the way? Do you like it? I you guys are probably the first to hear that title. Give me a thumbs up if you like the title Storycraft for disruptors. One of the ideas was say Storycraft for innovators or Storycraft for game changers. I went with the disruptors because I feel like that's more of who my people are. And there's so much in the market that's getting disrupted now. So I would say that if you don't hire an outside expert to do this, you may struggle to do this alone. A lot of the marketers you work with aren't paid to take an opposing view. And you may get stuck in sort of the inside baseball language that you use around your product and not language that I call passes the mother test, language that even your mother can understand and buy if it's appropriate for her. So I like to say, don't hire marketers because a lot of marketers haven't sold a thing in their lives. Hire a sales enabler, someone that really understands what it takes to have sales and buying conversations. So I encourage you to book a session if you haven't already. If you are qualified, please do that. I want to help you guys bring your products to market. So I'd say do not book time because I don't have time for everybody if you don't have a viable product with happy customers. So please do not do this. If you don't have a good product with happy customers, this doesn't work for you. If you aren't committed to your vision, don't book a time. If you're okay with your business is right now, that's great. Go for it, but don't book a time. If you aren't challenging the status quo in your industry or taking a new innovative approach, do not book a meeting. And if you can't or won't invest time and a little money into your business, do not book a call. All right. If that sounds fair, great, great. What else do you want to talk about? I think that's it. If there are websites you want me to take a quick look at, Dave, thank you. The book title, Storycraft for Disruptors. I'll love that title too. Um, thank you, Teresa. We're going to be launching that this month in August. I can't believe it's here already, and I'm super excited about launching that. Thank you. So let's do a couple homepage critiques. We got Mike, 10 explain solutions. Let's take a quick look at Mike's 10 explain solutions. I was thinking about going to the GPT and we can let the GPT critique it, but let's go right to how Greg Rosner would critique it. Get ultra protection from tennis elbow. All right, let's put this up there. Let's put another website up here too. Paralabs from Niels. So that looks like the first website looks like it's business to consumer. It's a consumer site. This is Optimize Your Tech Team. This is like a business to business site. And is there another website here? Yeah, this from Lisa, oscar.org. Let's put that up here as well. Okay, enhance real asset data through unified standards and knowledge. Trademark. Oh, I'm glad you trademark it because I have no idea what it talks about and I don't know. All right, so I'm not going to be too harsh here, but I may be too harsh. So I'm at this website and I don't know who this is for. I don't know what problem you solve, what you're helping. Real estate, digital, are you helping real estate uh, 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 real estate brokers, real estate investors? I'm so confused who this is for, what problem you solve, what you're selling. Are you selling software? Oh, dashboard. Are you selling a dashboard? I gotta log in. Okay. I don't know what that is. It doesn't really go anywhere. So yeah, lots of problems here. And look at the magnetic messaging framework. It would really help you. All right. So optimize your tech team with Latin American talent. Great. So that tells me I could, if I have a Latin American, if I have a tech team, I could optimize them with Latin American talent. So you're probably selling Latin American developer teams. Okay. Watch now. Okay. I like the credibility right up here because I don't know you from Adam, but I know Google. That's great. Happy people, thumbs up. I like the image. So far, so good. Oh, trusted. I got credibility here. More credibility here. We help you save money without disadvantages that are typically associated with outsourcing. So I want you, if you know the problems that I face when I outsource, I want to see you empathize in a section of stop doing it the old way. The old way is costing me money, costing mistakes and time and all the bad things. Get that out here front and center. That's what you're missing. So again, you've got tons of credibility here. Great case studies. You're strong on credibility. You're weak on the problem so far. Also, you're weak on the plan. Like, it's this. Get in touch. There's the plan. Get in touch, deep dive, contract signing. So you've got a plan. That's great. You've got a lot of good pieces here. So nicely done. Good website. Just only a few pieces here missing. I think one thing that I think you are missing as well is the movement leading a movement. So you can go really big and attack the old way and lead the new way with some statements and with some thought leadership on why Latin American talent is better than any other offshore talent. So anyway, food for thought. And I hope that's helpful. If it is helpful, give me something in the chat. Um, all right, ifani.com. We'll go there in a minute. So about the consumer, the B2C here, I'm going to shy a little bit away from that because even though the principles are the same, uh, there's some differences here. It's like a more of a Nike thing, but I think that you're selling to people on the website, or is this reduce pain? So I don't think is that a button? So the button says reduce pain, but it really should be buy now. I don't know why it's why reduce pain. Add to cart. So it looks like it's a site that where you can buy a product for tennis elbow. So I'm missing. Okay, I got this. I don't know. Uh, there's some things missing on here. Why don't we can actually go to the GPT and see what it says. Let me go to chat and go to the um, GPT homepage messaging evaluator. You can do this on your own, and it will contrast each of the sections here. So current headlines. This is offering some suggested headlines. So who is this for? It's not clear who it's for. The problem section is vaguely implied but not explicitly stated. The solution itself. Okay, so you can go through this on your own and get some specifics there. All right, so let's go to Ifani. Um, Ifani, so America's most secure mobile service. Okay, so I've never heard of Ifani. Is this mobile telephone service? Is this like AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile? I don't know what service is. Is this for consumers? Get secure safe plan now. I don't know what that plan is. If I click that, it pushes me in the bottom. Oh, I see pricing. I buy it here. Select payment option. Put in my credit card. So it's asking me to buy something. Okay, now let me back up and say, why do I want to buy that? Who is this for? Protecting executives. So is this for fraud protection executives? Who are you selling this to? Oh, Bitcoin mining, Matthew from. So it looks like you're selling it not to consumers, but to companies to protect their employees. So I think it's not clear who you're selling this to. Um, this is a good problem section. I really like that. This is some credibility. Uh, more credibility. That's great. So if I were to buy this, how do I install it? Do I download it? Or like, what's the plan? I'm missing a plan section here of how I'd be successful using it. And also I'm missing the problem section here. Like, what am I enduring every day? What am I tolerating by not using your product for my organization? So anyway, I hope that's helpful. And I just want to go back to our talk here and just say thank you guys. I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking time in your business and hashing through these with me. And I want to wish you great success. And if you do need help, definitely book a time with us and we'll help you. Thanks so much for your time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you guys. You're awesome. Build great products and make this world a better place for us all. Cheers, guys.